Today is the day before the race in Banyoles, the Copa Catalana, pretty traditional race here in Spain.
This week was a bit different to normal weeks because we had a bit of a team camp as well. So we used the time for photo shootings, video shootings, and such as some planning for the year. But in general, I mean, it's 2 days, 3 days before the race. It's the first ride on the course, adjusting the bikes, getting ready, and then it's pretty much just getting ready for the race, but relax and go into the race with full power.
As you can see, I'm a professional here. They only fly me in because, you know, I'm a dad's coffee maker. So they fly me in all over the world to do the coffee in the morning.
Yeah, that's right. We were sitting like this here.
Convivencia en el equipo es una de las mejores, es lo que yo le daría más nota. Anoche lo hablábamos, llevábamos sin vernos, yo qué sé, meses, y es que justo nos juntamos y ya está, parece que nos vimos la semana pasada.
I think we just try to find some good coffee. It's not that hard here. Take any place.
I'll see you in Girona and then we can make a plan on the way out as well. It's easy here. Girona is a good place for cyclists in general, for active people doing a lot of stuff. Active people. Greetings to Avancini. This is a coffee ride, not like yesterday.
Yesterday was ridiculous.
Say coffee ride and it actually is a coffee ride, you know.
I think Henrique has been waiting for this moment for a while. So.
Yeah, I mean, I sensed it already when we left yesterday, that place, that at one point, you know, you're just gonna squeeze just to see me suffering, you know.
Yeah.
He loves that shit. These mental games, you know.
I think it's competition anymore,
Competition, which is good on one side, but I mean, actually it wasn't good for me yesterday.
No.
I mean, I think the kid is gonna eat the kitchen empty now, to be honest.
Yeah, the kids were not skipping it too much today.
But the shape is good, it's getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are two vegetarians, so they have tofu instead of chicken. But most of the people they eat all the same. They're not too difficult. Yeah, you just need to see that you have enough protein, you use enough protein and carbohydrates. So it depends also if this is training or if they are going really for competition for a race. And if they are racing, then the vegetables need to be cooked much longer because they can't have the fibers. They can have stomach problems also. So then you say.
File so everybody stays and all the things that
We have a new partner for the season. Ceramic Speed is coming on board to help us with some faster wheels and chain loop. So we're just replacing our stock bearings to the new treated coated bearings from Ceramic, and then get ready for course practice and training coming later this week. A typical pre-race check or inspection would be to take the wheels out. 80% of our jobs is just to clean, really good. I feel personally while cleaning you see and feel the bike the most, so you can see any cracks, any parts that's wearing a bit quicker than the others, and once you've done a good deep clean, the tinkering starts, like me and Pete will call it, and that's when we start doing special treatments on chains or making sure the cranks or the bearings are spinning as freely as possible. anything that gives the athlete the smallest advantage we do for them. Nothing on the inside here is different to what you could get off the shelf, which is to me quite incredible. It shows that you could buy a bike and go straight to a race and win your local race. The amount of friction that goes into the fork, and the fork tracks better when it's almost at an angle. It still can move because there's no torsional flex on the chassis. It's something marginal, it's something only a racer would really feel, is when they start pushing the bike into corners and the chassis would flex. It's the advantage Lefty has with working on the sliders and then the compression air assembly all just being in one leg instead of two units working. So for every World Cup we put a new chain, but that new chain becomes the home training bike where they do up to 2.5 to 3,000 miles, kilometers, depending on obviously weather conditions. Like Simon lives in Denmark, he rides and lives for the snow, so his drivetrain takes a bit more of a beating. But Alan down in Africa and Henry in Brazil, they have more dusty dry trails, so they can get up to 2.5 to 3,000 Ks on a chain.
So basically I usually run through the hip joint and just find any points that might be pinching. Always check the leg length just to see if any muscles are short through the hips, because obviously that's what they utilise most when riding a bike. And then the firing patterns from the glutes to the back, just to make sure they're pedalling in circles and not squares. And then I'll run through all the legs, all the muscle fibres in the legs, and release anything that I find along the way, basically. And then obviously any specific problems that the boys have, then we'll... Before a race, usually if the race is on a Sunday, on a Thursday, they have more of a deep tissue massage just to flush out any hard training sessions they've done before. And then it's done and it gives them enough days afterwards to recover during the next training sessions before they're on the start line. After that session, it's more like maintenance once we've worked through any specific problems. And then after the race, because obviously the muscles are already damaged from racing, it's usually more of a flush of any build-up of toxins, nothing too deep.
Atali, where are you? Where are you? Okay, we are just out. I'm supposed to build all the picture of the races, but also the more important for the riders and for the team is the behind the scene, because you know it's quite easy to get picture in action, but it's really different and really difficult to have something on behind the scene, and this is why they rely on a single photographer, because he can get more used on the timing of the team and don't be really stressful for the riders, really stressful on the situation and so on. Yeah, it's not the preferred situation for the riders, but you know we need to take few pictures for the races and the catalogs and so on, and we got a kind of easy studio to make them really comfortable and less stress.
I guess my main job role is to bring them up to speed on tracks, on technical tracks, especially at World Cups, because you can lose focus quite a lot on what other people are doing, and if I've been and watched the tracks, I can be the confirmation for them to know that that's the best line. When you're with a group of friends and one friend can do it, you follow them in and then you can do it. You know, it gives you the confidence. You know the speed to take into a jump or a drop or a rock garden, and you trust the person. So hopefully that's what I try and help them with, is if there's a big gap or if there's a rock garden they're not sure of the exact line, or if there's a puncture risk, or I just try and take every single detail of a track and make them aware of it, and just try and work with them to get the best, fastest line. With cross country, you want to get from A to B as quick as possible for sure, but on the downhills, if that means you use a lot of energy, it's not always the best. So you have to figure out if it's energy efficient, but also the smoothest and less risk, because they have to do it 7-8 times in 1.5 hours, so it's quite intense.
Lo que habéis visto hoy es un día muy de relax, realmente es el día libre de los corredores, por eso hemos estado tomando café, por eso estamos muy tranquilos en lo que estáis viendo. Cuando llegue la hora de la carrera de esta semana, las cosas cambian, ya las caras cambian, todo el mood, todo el rollo cambia en el equipo, tanto para nosotros como para los corredores. Los que más, evidentemente, los corredores, que se centran en hacer su trabajo, que es correr esta semana. Y van a ir a ganar, siempre van a ganar, y no hay ninguna duda.
This race is pretty crucial on my preparation into this big goal that I have for this season. So it's already like all in, nothing to hide. I'm going for the win.
I mean, we've been here the whole week, so we had the chance to pre-ride the course, and obviously you adapt a bit to what the situation is on course. This course compared to last week's course is very different. It is super fast rolling, not so technical. That means tire choices are different, suspension setups are different. But we figured that all out 2 days ago, and now it's all set and we roll. The only thing that could change it is the weather, but it's not going to rain, so we should be good.
I think that's one of the reasons also why we're coming back, because again it's a high-class field. Most of the years coming back here has category lots of points, and it's always nice to measure with high-class athletes. So we use that event to see where we are, optimizing things, not just on the athlete side, also for the staff side. So it's a good event to kick off the season.
I think Banyoles is good. I think it attracts good crowds, and I think we always get like the biggest field I've ever seen in a mountain bike race, pretty much. I think the course is quite like a powerful course with a lot of turns in.
Esto, mira cómo estoy, no puedo ni respirar, tío. He llegado corriendo aquí, de momento no he perdido ninguna vuelta. He venido porque en entreno ya pasé por esta zona y digo, bueno, como es así mucho zigzag, se puede, pero con toda la gente por medio, todo el polvo. Y ahora mira la cámara cómo está. Está toda llena de polvo, muerte, yo igual, pero bueno, es lo que hay.
Actually quite alright. I mean, I said before, we go for the win. I think that's what we did. We ended up fourth, so we are on the podium, which is the next best solution. You know, sometimes in a race like this, which is very fast, and it's not so technical, but more it's a strategic race. Sometimes you just don't have it in your hands, and we were actually fighting against two teams that had two riders in the front, and usually what happens then is they kind of work you, and you just you are the second best.
No, it's really difficult racing here. The level's super high. I think it's just what we needed. Pre-season XCO racing for us. Obviously the first World Cup in Brazil in April is just around the corner, so this is just a bit of an opener and just to gauge where we're at and build the next 2 weeks now into the World Cup. But yeah, really in a good place for this time of year and really excited for the season ahead.